some way in the future. There's no question about that in my mind, because you can't do all of these things. But guess what? You guys are geospatial professionals. You guys are as much geospatial professional as anyone else out there. But you must choose to recognize that fact and again, get on board or get off the fence and just move forward. It's only by choosing to get involved and provide services or to assist or provide expertise that you will fully understand what it is that's going on in your little niche of this geospatial industry or profession, whatever you choose to call it. I used to have a saying that I said in the past, and this surveyors had a lot of sayings for what GIS stood for in the past, get it surveyed and all this other stuff. And I recognized right away that it's Geographic Information Specialist or Geospatial Information Specialist. By virtue of what we've done and where we've come and the fact that we are so structured in our GIS and engineering professions, we are specialists in those areas. So you are a geospatial professional. You just need to start thinking that way, and you need to start acting that way.
It's funny you should say that, Jack. Remember what we did in Arizona, that you were part of, with the geospatial professional as part of the Land Surveyors Association. One thing that I've been disappointed with on that, and I was kind of hoping, because the way it's set up right now, it's land surveyors and geospatial professionals. I wanted land surveyors to also be geospatial professionals, and it still has that.
Yeah. I'd like to, and I hear what you're saying, and we did it because we wanted to be proactive and not reactive to what was going on. And that's what I'm saying, is we need to be proactive and get involved and help define whatever it is that's going to look like in the future. And it's just something we've got to do. Geospatial data sets. What are we talking about here? Or geospatial data standards, sorry. What are we talking about here? What are these agencies? You've all heard of them. What do their standards look like for geospatial deliverables? They look an awful lot like some of the same standards that I've looked at for a number of years relating towards survey products and accuracy that we have to comply with for various other things. And we know we have state agencies and local societies that have standards that we all have to adhere to. Standards are nothing we should be afraid of. And I want to emphasize that these standards, and Michael, your ears need to start smoking back there, because if you let me get away with this, they are standards that we've been using, and they've been morphed into something slightly different. But if you get down to the root of them, they look an awful lot like what we've already been doing. It's just the connotation that now we have the need to go out and locate things specifically for GIS. In Texas, we have a whole Category 10 in our manual of practice that addresses this issue. And I know Michael and the guys in Arizona are working real hard to develop a set of standards to kind of address this issue as well. Just because we're already specialized in this area, and we know through our practice what is possible and what is not possible, and what is practical and what is not practical in these regards. So that's another area, if you're into that kind of thing, that we should be looking at being part. Municipality puts out an RFP or something like that, and they start addressing some sort of standard or something, and go look it up and see what it really says. You'd be surprised. It's going to be one of these agencies that they're probably referencing. Okay, here's the meat of why some of you guys are here. Hopefully those people that are still on the fence. Well, how does this process really come about? How do we really move forward? And we're going to talk about that in the next couple of slides, I believe. So what should a firm do to take advantage of geospatial data while strengthening their business interests and offerings? This is something that I have specialized in. Again, I'll just put my public sector hat on and my private sector hat on. In either case, the plan is kind of the same. And I like to start by saying you can't be part of something you don't understand. And this is for the surveyors that aren't in this room that somehow think because of their licensure or something that they should have some controlling element over GIS. Get over it. You can't be part of something you don't understand. You people, by being here, you are now becoming geospatially aware. You're starting to get it. You're starting to provide these services and products. You're just trying to figure out how to make it bigger, better, and get that nice even keel of business going on, and you hopefully start to ramp up for you, whatever the case may be. That's why you're here. That's why you're trying to educate yourself, become more geospatially aware, get more involved, become more active, and those are all things that you're going to have to do.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think that's something that the geospatial professionals have been doing for some time. They had this neat technology. In order to apply it, they had to learn electrical engineering, they had to learn geology, they had to learn ecology, they had to learn surveying. And so the geospatial professionals have been doing that, being part of these things so they can, that they didn't understand, so they can apply their craft.
And those of you that saw the slide yesterday with the little girl drinking through the water hose, I mean, really, and by what you're saying, Ray, they've already drank the Kool-Aid, or they already know what to do with that hose. They know how to pull it away every once in a while. And for those of you that are still trying to get your head around all of this stuff that's coming at you, you just take it one day at a time, one conference at a time, one educational seminar at a time, one college course at a time, whatever it takes. You gotta keep moving down those paths. I like to say one bullet point ahead here. I like to say you must learn how to spell GIS before you can sell GIS. And really, what I'm saying there, I think I'm on the wrong slide here, so that I'll use that statement a little later as well. Okay, I found my place in my script here, so it's tough, you know. You get up here preaching and it just kind of takes over, you know. By getting involved in attending events like this, you become geospatially aware. We just talked about that. And you're evolving in your profession, obviously, by also doing that. But what you really need to do to take on the essence of this, in order to sell GIS, you need to be able to spell GIS. You need to seek out and use data in your region. You need to seek out and use websites that post GIS data, offer web services, things that we've seen in the past in some of the other presentations. You need to be trying to take as much of that in as you can, because it's only when you take that in that you understand the pitfalls and the problems associated with using data, and it just heightens that awareness. So take in as much of that kind of information as you can, and you got to have a plan to make that happen. And the way I approached it here in my recent position, I'm in the private practice right now, and you know, they courted me from Arizona before I ever moved to Texas, and they said, you know, we want to get you over here and have you implement GIS in our organization and breathe some new life into it. And I have to say, by using the data and figuring out, when I went to Texas, I didn't know squat about what was available geospatially. But